All right, here we are. We are live. We are back. Episode 3 of season 2. I am joined by my co-host Aaron Simmons, aka Smolians. Our other co-host Zachary Brandevold is MIA. We're hoping he joins us at some point tonight, but we will have to see how it goes. I am sure that one Adam Lauer is going to be upset about that, but until he gets here, it's just Aaron and I. We're going to hold down the fort. How are you doing this evening, Aaron?
Doing fairly well. I finally feel like I got a day off from work for the first time in ages, and just really been enjoying it. Kind of kicking back and doing a little bit of window shopping here and there, and we're looking forward to getting this show underway because we finally, after 3 months, have a race to talk about and break down and discuss, and it's gonna be an amazing show. So I'm looking forward to getting the show underway.
You and me both. And I got to tell you, hold on, I got to get a live link out here to my neighbor, who said he would tune in, and I was having a little trouble getting that done. But let's see what I can do if I can find it here, if I am technologically capable of doing this.
All right. Want to say to the chat, Jet Up White Lightning, good evening, my good sir. Mike Cora, as always. Glad to see you here, man. I got to look out for COVID quarantine. Oh, no, that's not fun. Oh, that's not fun. As a guy that I had to go through it twice, it's fun for the first day because think about, hey, because you think about, hey, I get to sit around and get to kind of just, rest a little bit. But after day 2, you're just done with this shit and just want to be done. So cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you, brother. Hope you're feeling well. And then, what the dog doing? Says hello. Hello to you, sir.
What's up, dog? I'm assuming you're a Kevin Harvick fan with that 4 hat going on there.
And then,
Mike, I hope you
good Lord.
And Mike, I hope you do better than my son. He was diagnosed with COVID. He got sick Saturday, had him tested Sunday night. He is same, has not improved, has not got worse, still dealing with sore throat and a very, very weak voice. So, man, I'm getting worried about him. Had him tested for strep today just to see if there was something else going on, but no strep. Anyway, I don't know. They keep telling me just let it run its course and he'll get over it. But hard seeing your kid suffer like that. It really is. And it looks like Zach has made it. So here we go. Welcome,
Hello.
Zach.
There he is.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm surprised this is so dark in here. I don't know what's going on. I look like I'm in the red room.
Now Zach, glad to have you here, buddy.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine.
Good.
All right, so Zach, how are you this evening? How did Skyscraper do in the big basketball game?
He did pretty well. They won their basketball game, so they're moving on. They beat a higher seed, so it was definitely a little bit unexpected. But and he did pretty well. He got I don't know the stat line yet because they don't put it out right away, but I will find out and let you guys know next time.
All righty.
Okay, cool. My chorus says mood lighting.
Just for you.
All right, so here is the deal. We actually got a race to talk about. Woo-hoo! So we're going to change things up, and instead of having one person do a race review, we're kind of going to just make it a more just dialogue amongst us. A lot of storylines to talk about, but let me start off and give you kind of one storyline to talk about here. How about Ty Dillon? As Tony Stewart said, he hit everything but the lottery. And Tony Stewart further said, if I'm the pace car, I'm pretty worried. So yeah, Ty Dillon, and I kind of expected there to be a lot of beating and banging and bumping, and I expected somebody to say, okay, if that's how the game is played, I'm going to take the game to an extreme. And I kind of was waiting to say, who's going to be the driver that does that and how early it's going to happen? Well, guess what? It was Ty Dillon, and it was in the last chance qualifier. And he actually raced his way in, and then NASCAR said, not so fast, my friend. And disqualified him for jumping the restart. And he did jump the restart, but with the level of driving through the field, I was not shedding any tears. I felt like he really just crossed the line with that. But anyway, that was one storyline. We got many others to get through. Zach, give us a storyline. Tell us what your highlight or highlights from the race were.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the heat races, especially, I think it was it heat 2 or 3 that Ty Dillon was also in, I believe. I want to say he was in that one. Whichever one he was in, there were so many wrecks, it was just hard to count. I thought it was a fun race. I thought they did what they wanted to with it. I thought there was a lot of interesting fans, diverse, when you looked at the last chance qualifiers. That's what I meant to say. There was a lot of beating and banging. And I'm surprised Harrison Burton ended up qualifying because it looked like he got bumped out of the way and spun, and he looked like he wasn't going to recover. So I was kind of surprised at the speed of the Roush Fenwick Kozlowski cars. They didn't do really well at all. Meanwhile, Penske was really dominant during the race as well. So that kind of just shows you the two difference in the Ford factory teams. But overall, I think the field was a lot closer together. Ryan Preece being up there. Justin Haley, excuse me. He was up there. You saw a lot of different guys up there that normally aren't up there and racing for top fives and the win. And we saw a lot of different a lot of parity in the field. So I thought that was awesome. And it gives me good omens for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I got to agree with you there. And that was one thing that really kind of surprised me too, just the amount of parity that this new track and the new car and just the new everything kind of provided. And I think this is kind of like a really good sign that this car is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to even the playing field. It's supposed to be giving guys who are kind of mediocre to backmarker teams a chance to get up in front. Get up in front and kind of show more of the talent instead of just having the cars be reliant on the teams building on the cars and having a monetary advantage. Now, even though the cars are equal the same, you still had your typical usual front runners like Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, and all of them up front and competing still. You saw a lot of those middle of the road kind of guys, up in the top, up in the late top 10, and competing for spots. And so I think this is a really good sign for NASCAR, even though they still kind of work out the drivetrain issues a little bit, which we'll get to later. But overall, I was very excited for this race, and it proved to be a really good race.
Yeah, and I gotta say here we go. Adam Lauer,
brother,
my favorite. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. He gave us not one, but two $5 donations. Says one of them is supposed to go to Zach for the new house. So
thank you,
Zach,
man.
I will have to PayPal it to you, but you'll get it. You'll get
yeah,
it.
I need it
Thank you,
right
Adam.
now.
Appreciate it so much.
Yes, thank you, Adam.
It
Good
so
to
much.
see you. Good to see you.
So we could talk all night just about the Clash because there's so many storylines. How about RCR? Tyler Reddick running up front looked like he had the car to beat, and a drivetrain issue beat him, was what beat him, not another driver. And then Austin Dillon running top 5 most of the race. I was really glad to see RCR up there. I really think we're going to see a resurgence. I think they're going to get to victory lane this year, but we can talk more about that later. But I think RCR is on the upswing. So that is kind of a big deal.
Just on that point, Tom, really quick, their short track package wasn't very good last season, bar Tyler Reddick's finish at I forget what track, but other than that, they didn't really show out on short tracks, and showing up at one of the shortest tracks they've ever run and running good is a very good sign for the upcoming season. So I just wanted to point that out.
A couple of comments. Somewhere here, Ryan
invite over to
Preece
the chat.
winning in an RWR car. Yeah. How about that? How about that?
Never
Sav
thought I'd
bringing
see
that
the day.
comment to the table. Mike Hora saying RWR looked like a real race team. The dog telling us RWR is winning the championship. Now that is
No.
a bold prediction.
No.
That
That is a bold
is a
prediction.
bold
No.
prediction.
I mean, if you would have said like front row, then I would believe that more than Rick Ware Racing.
It'd be-
Adam Lauer is ready for his invite over to dinner at the new house.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
so are we.
Yeah, when's the
He
house?
said
party?
should be very romantic. Oh yeah. Just wait. I'll have the candles out, the rose petals, all for you, Adam.
Oh my!
Oh yeah, the scented candles and all that.
Do us
You're
a
paying
favor.
for the
Don't
steaks.
live stream that, okay? Just don't.
No,
You're paying
don't.
for the steaks though.
He already did.
Already did.
Yeah.
I know.
Essentially.
Well, I mean,
But,
$10. I mean, it's gonna be like the skirt steak, but steak is steak.
Okay, so real quick, what did you guys think of Tony Stewart in the booth? What was your thoughts on that one?
I thought he did a phenomenal job. Even though I do miss Gordon up there, and I'm biased in saying that because I'm a Gordon fan. I'll be biased about that. I'll admit it. But I thought Stewart did a really good job up there. I think he and Boyer really could bounce off of each other because Stewart has the personality of he's professional, but yet he can really kind of like bounce off and kind of be that good humor, kind of like can tell a joke and kind of be witty with Boyer when he wants to. And so I think Stewart in the booth is a+ job. And of course, Boyer has to be the Darrell Wallace replacement, then Mike Joy being Mike Joy. And so I think it's going to be kind of like a resurgence of I guess the trio from years past.
Yeah, too bad. I think he's only going to be there for a couple of races, but he was like the opposite of the politically correct Dale Earnhardt Jr. NBC broadcast. On NBC, nothing was ever anybody's fault. It was, oh, it's just hard racing. Oh, that's just two guys going for the same piece of real estate. It was never anybody's fault, according to them, even when it blatantly was. Tony Stewart, first race, he's saying Ty Dillon hit everything but the lottery. He's already out there he calls it like it is. I love it. So
yeah, but it's Tony Stewart. Would you expect anything less?
That's why we love him. Or
exactly.
You may hate him for the same reason, but that's his personality. He is going to call it the way he sees it.
Exactly. Love him or hate him, you get what you get.
All right. We got some technological feedback here for you, Zach, coming from your number one fan.
I just turned it down. I did not get a chance to play with my settings before I went on, so I apologize.
Well, please don't play with your settings while you're on the air. This is a PG-rated show.
Yeah.
I don't have any response to that, but that was funny.
So did Haley.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Since we have put Zach front and center here, Zach, take us through the news.
Absolutely. All right. So NASCAR at the LA Coliseum Stadium was a smash hit in the ratings. I believe they rated, give me 2 seconds.
They got a 2.32 rating and a 4.283 million viewers for Sunday.
There you go.
Woo.
So, and that was the highest, I believe I read it, that was the highest viewership or highest rating since 2006 Clash for the Clash. And then also one of the highest rated shows of in a long time since last season. So pretty interesting. They smashed it in the park. I think I thought it was just cool seeing them race around, especially with that camera, and seeing all those fans in the stands. I like that. Just to me, I think showed so much energy and passion for the sport, and I think that said all it needed to say of how successful this event was.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts, Tom?
Last year we criticized NASCAR a lot for the first time they did something, they got it wrong. But the first time they did this, they got it right. I think it accomplished exactly what they wanted. It was a big splash in a big population and big media market in a place that they haven't been in a couple of years. So I think it worked pretty well. Really, I don't know that I have any complaints. I was even skeptical about the length of the broadcast starting at 3 o'clock and not even having the main event start till 6. And maybe it's just we hadn't seen racing in so long, but it seemed like the time went by pretty quickly, and there wasn't a lot of dead time or dead space. I will say the one thing though, when they were doing the driver introductions and they were walking down the steps of the Coliseum, I was really hoping one of them would trip. I thought that would have been great. If one of them would have just tripped and maybe not done a full face plant, but just had an awkward moment there, but they were all very graceful and looked like they were very coordinated. But Aaron, what do you have to say about it?
Now, see, Tom, if I was going down those steps, I would be the one to just trip and fall, and because I never did that at my high school graduation. I nearly tripped and fell at my graduation, so that would be me. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I was very skeptical of this. I thought it was going to be a complete failure on all ends. I thought no one was going to show up. The cars are going to be absolutely destroyed, which I was kind of run on that. And this is going to be a disaster for NASCAR. Apparently, I was wrong. Yeah, I'll eat my words. I was wrong on essentially all fronts. The cars seem to be relatively intact. Just the stands on. I'm looking at a picture of this on Twitter, and yeah, you see a few seats open, but it is nowhere near empty. It is nearly full to the gills. Everyone looked like they were having a good time, and the racing was amazing. So I got credit where credit is due. NASCAR, fantastic job with this. I will now eat my words. I will eat it live.
You know what my grandpa used to say? Keep your words sweet in case you have to eat them.
Yep. And everything you say on the internet, talk shit or get hit.
Yeah, I was super excited about this race, but I obviously had reservations. But honestly, just looking at it, it just brought so much of the vibes of 2005 NASCAR Speed Network. Just awesome. I think that's exactly what they were kind of going for, reinvigorating the sport.
Yes.
But yeah, moving right along. Next news segment is the next gen car shows promise being resilient to the beating and banging, maybe. So we saw a lot of crashes during the clash. People backing into the barriers, getting spun around, backing into the barriers. Justin Haley actually ran into the inside wall, tore up his entire left front fender. But it not being a traditional race, a lot of the times, anytime somebody would make heavy contact like that, it would be out of the race and just pull into the infield, not risking it. So I don't think we've necessarily tested it out as much as we could, but looking at it, it looks like it's pretty sturdy. What are your guys' thoughts? Aaron, let's start with you.
Yeah, this is one of the things I was really kind of looking forward to with the Clash because ever since we've kind of talked about this shortage of the cars issue, dating all the way back to January, where teams only had 2 cars going into the month of February with one being used for the Clash essentially and one being used for Daytona. I thought they were going to get so beaten and banged up to where there's no way they're going to have enough cars to even, I guess, last until the second race of the season. But again, I'm eating my words here again because in terms of like light contact with bumper to bumper contact, the cars seem to handle relatively well. Since they're carbon fiber and not steel, the cars are able to kind of like to flex a lot more now, and they're able to take that kind of punishment. Now, in instance of like Eric Amarola or Justin Haley, by the way, not really, but damage doesn't seem to be too bad. I mean, of course, I'm kind of looking at Haley's car right now, and it's just the left front is just tore up completely. But besides that, the rest of the car is intact, and so I feel like that's not going to be too hard of a fix to kind of get ready for, I guess, next week, again next week or in a short race right now. But besides the drivetrain issue, which NASCAR is looking into, I think the cars are going to be relatively stable, and stable and durable. Tom, what about you?
Yeah, I want to say two things here. One is somebody said Joey Logano was going to win this thing, and they were right.
I don't know who would say that.
Somebody,
I don't know. Zach, was that you that said that?
and somebody
No.
said the speeds were not high enough that the cars would get tore up too bad. Somebody said that, and
Adam,
they
was that
were
you that
right.
said
They
that?
were right about that too. So I just want to point out that you can call me Butter because I am on a roll here.
Hey,
But
don't break your arm trying to pat yourself on the back there.
but no, the cars did seem pretty well, and the composite body is what Xfinity has been running, and we've seen how those cars have been able to beat and bang a little bit, and the cars keep going. Specifically, Noah Gragson puts that composite body to the test every week. But I think this is going to be a foreteller of what we're going to see. We're going to see these guys be able to, maybe not at a Daytona, but at your other mile and a half or short tracks, they're going to be able to make a little contact. They're going to be able to beat and bang, and they're going to be able to keep racing because it's a composite body, like we have seen the Xfinity guys beating and banging and still racing. So I think it's going to be great. The drivetrain issues surprised me, but I guess if I'd done my research, I would have known, because we got that pointed out to us on the stream during the race that is a vulnerable part of the car, but they're looking into that. But no, I was impressed with the cars. I was impressed with how tough they were, and I think we're going to see those composite bodies put to the test with some beating and banging at the mile and a half tracks.
Yeah. And you were right. I forgot that you picked Logano. I was like, when Logano won, I was like, all right, I'm safe. No one picked him. I picked Truex, and I was gravely wrong. So I think it is. I think that's a tough sign for Truex that he did not perform very well. It'll be interesting to see.
I think the Clash is like a class by itself, though. This short of a track, never been there before, different configuration, different banking. I'm not going to read a whole lot into it out of who was fast and who wasn't here for what it's going to mean for the whole season. But that's just my take.
And it gives me a lot of Martinsville vibes, and I thought for sure he would run top 10, but he was disappointing. But we'll see. Anyway, moving along here, Jesse Awuji and Emmett Smith announced a partnership with Chevy for the 2022 season. If you do remember, Emmett Smith partnered with Jesse Awuji to form Jesse Awuji Motorsports, I believe, and running the 34 Equity Prime Mortgage Chevy for the entire 2022 season. So they are it's one. It's not the first time that an NFL Hall of Famer will be teaming up with a NASCAR driver to form their team. But they chose 34 because of Wendell Scott. That's kind of a tribute. And we'll see how well they perform this season with a full season backing for the 2022 season. What are your guys' thoughts, Tom?
First off, I think it's a good partnership. I think it's great that they're paying tribute to Wendell Scott. I don't know that team is of the size or significance that they're going to make a lot of waves. But Emmett Smith is not a new owner. He's been around doing this, I think, for a little bit. But once again, this is just another celebrity owner, which I think is good. Going back to your pick of Truex, though, I think Sav makes a good point. You had to be aggressive, and Truex is kind of the nice guy. He won't rub you or bump you or move you unless usually you have done it to him first. That's just not his driving style. I think they were even talking about that. Either they were talking about it during the heat race or something, or maybe I read an article about it, but they're even talking about that this is a short track, but it really doesn't suit his style because he likes to keep the fenders on the car and keep the paints unscratched. So I'm not saying that it shows that it's going to be a foreteller of the season for him.
We shall
But
see.
going back to the I don't know that this Xfinity team is going to make a lot of waves, but I think it's great that they're paying tribute to Wendell Scott. And I think it's great that we got Jesse Iwuji, a veteran with military service in his background, who is racing in NASCAR. I think it's great to have those guys as part of the sport.
Absolutely. What about you, Aaron?
I really don't have anything much to add. Like Tom, I don't think they're going to make a ton of noise this season. I think they're going to get a lot of screen time just because of the 34 and just because they're a new team and they want to kind of promote that team and kind of say, hey, this NFL Hall of Famer and this long NASCAR guy are making a team and here they are. Although I do love that they're paying tribute to Wendell Scott. I think he's a guy that everyone should look up to. Essentially making a name for himself when the sport itself didn't want him in there, or when the fan base didn't want him in there, and he still made a name for himself. I think he's a great guy to look up to. But yeah, I don't have much to add from what Tom said. I mean, I hope they have a lot of success going into this season, but that is for time to determine.
It's actually called, answering Adam Lauer's question, Jesse Iwuji Motorsports, but I think Emmett Smith is, I don't know if he's the primary owner or a co-owner or how much of it he owns exactly, but it's called Jesse Iwuji Motorsports. And yes, Wendell Scott, first African-American to win a NASCAR race.
Yep. Under scrupulous circumstances, though, from what I've heard. Apparently NASCAR was so afraid that the fan base would riot because a black guy won a NASCAR race that they gave the race to a white guy, and NASCAR sent him a check and a much smaller trophy under the table.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think he even got the trophy. They just handed him the trophy, or they handed his family the trophy at last year's Daytona 500, I believe.
Yeah.
All
right, keep going because Mike Hora is trying to spoil our next story.
Yeah.
We were getting to that.
Patience, Mike. Patience.
Kyle Busch is not going to participate in any Xfinity races for 2022. Breaking news, shock, bombshell, whatever you want to call it. He will not be participating in any Xfinity races for 2022 season, which is one of the first times that he will ever not be in the Xfinity Series car. What does this say, and what are your thoughts, Aaron?
Oh no, how tragic. How will we ever live with Kyle Busch not in the Xfinity Series? Woe was everyone, woe was every single fan ever. No. I mean, really, I think Kyle Busch has made his point that him in an Xfinity car, it's a guaranteed win every single week. It doesn't matter where it is. He's going to win.
Unless you're Ty Gibbs.
Unless you're Ty Gibbs, yeah. Unless Ty Gibbs or John Hunter even check the Truck Series, but hey, different series. I kind of think with this new car, there's not a lot of incentive for him to get into the Xfinity car anymore. Either that or he just doesn't want to do it. You know, I mean, he's already made a name for himself. He is the winningest driver in the Xfinity Series by a country mile, I think. So, honestly, I think this is great for every single fan besides Kyle Busch fans and every single driver not named Kyle Busch. So I think this will really kind of allow the Xfinity stars to really kind of make a name for themselves and really kind of show that, yeah, I'm the best of the bunch. I'm the best of this bunch here. And I feel like I'm going to be in the Cup Series next year if I do win the championship. So for me, I'm not too terribly worried about it.
What about you, Tom?
Didn't he announce this and say this that once he won 100, he was going to stop? So to me, this is kind of like him just keeping his word.
I think he tried one more after he.
But I think he had already committed to it. Like he'd already committed at the beginning of the season he was going to run these races, and so I just finished out his existing commitments. But this doesn't surprise me. I think him running occasionally wasn't a bad thing. It gave people a chance to measure themselves against. That probably increased attendance at the Xfinity races. But I think it's good to see Xfinity drivers winning Xfinity races and not having the Cup guys. Going back to Wendell Scott and Adam Lauer saying, a few years ago they did make a big deal about it, and I don't know if it was an anniversary or what, but I think maybe ESPN or somebody made a documentary about it. There was I think a book that came out about it in 2019 or 20. So there's been periods of time, maybe it was on a specific anniversary, where it has had a big deal made about it. And I think that was his only win. I believe that is his one and only win that he got. So I don't think there was a number two. But just to
Jacksonville,
close
Florida.
the loop on that,
Yep.
I don't think Wendell Scott got a second win.
Mm-mm.
No. So, but no, I don't think this is a huge deal in the Xfinity. I think Kyle Busch made his point. He said he was going to do 100. He honored his commitments, and then he stepped away. So
Yeah,
that's all I got
think
to say about that.
I think it's I think it's going to be. I think it's going to hurt attendance a little bit, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people. And what I will say is this: I enjoyed the Xfinity Series racing, all the races, a lot more than the NASCAR races last year. I think they were a lot more battles. I think it was the championship was a lot tighter. You just had a lot of guys being able to compete week in and week out. And I think it's going to be even better this year. But I think a lot of people did come and watch the Xfinity Series race because to see Kyle Busch have a better chance of maybe getting some signatures, who knows? But we'll see what happens. I think personally, I'm more excited about the Xfinity Series races this season, seeing what these new drivers for these new teams and these new teams can do. There's a lot of new teams out there, a lot of new drivers coming into the sport, especially in the Xfinity Series. I'm excited to see what they can do. So we'll see what happens. But moving right along, our last little tidbit of news.
Okay, couple things let me get to before you jump into the next news story. DFS says he is going to Daytona. Congratulations, my man. Enjoy
Take
it.
me with you.
Yeah, I have been there, but not for a 500.
Please.
I was there for the July race. But yeah, hey, do us a favor. Get yourself a cardboard sign or something that says, tune in to the Loose Lug Nuts Tuesdays at 9:00, and then find a way to get yourself on TV. That would be huge for us if you could do that.
Don't run out on track, though.
Yeah, don't put yourself in danger or break any laws. No. And what else do we have here? Adam Lauer was saying something about Landon Castle and Colleague Racing. We're going to try to do a fan interaction segment. Save that. Ask us about that in the fan interaction. But sorry to interrupt, but keep going. Keep going, Zach.
Yeah. Oh my! No, you got to put up Mike Cora's comment. I'm sorry.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have words, but that was, yeah. I just felt like this.
Wow, and with that, I'm watching our viewership drop.
Yeah. Did you put a censorship on this video?
I don't think I did.
Thanks,
oh man. Okay. Well,
with that, we dropped from 4 viewers to 2. Wow.
We lost all of our.
Way to go, Mike. This is why we can't have nice things, Mike.
No, but I felt like that needed to be highlighted before we move on. Anyway, so Joey Logano welcomes their 3rd child into the world. They have 2 sons right now. They welcomed in their first baby daughter, Brittany. Right or no?
No, Brittany's his
wife.
That's
the wife. Excuse me.
Amelia Love.
Amelia Love. There you go. Thank you. Awesome for him. I think I do remember when they did the gender reveal, which was awesome. And I'm happy for him. What about you, Tom?
I love the name Amelia Love. So I think that's an awesome name. It just sounds good. It rolls off the tongue. Happy for Joey and his wife. Even more happy that mom and baby are doing well and everybody is happy and healthy. So congrats to them. But life is going to change for them now because they can't play man-to-man defense anymore. It used to be 2 kids, 2 parents. Now they are outnumbered. They can't play man-to-man anymore. So life is going to get tough for the Loganos now that they got to go to a zone scheme and got to leave the man-to-man.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. What about you, Aaron?
I'm happy for the both of them, and God bless them because they're going to need it.
There you
Kids,
go.
good Lord.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's all I got for the news segment this week.
All right. So now we got who's hot, who's not. And since Aaron already stole half of my answer, we'll just go ahead and let him go first.
Hey, I'm picking up right where we left off from last year.
Aaron, who you got for who's hot and who's not?
All right, so for my who's not, also with the theme of picking up right where they left off from last year, I got to go Tyler Reddick in the number 8 car. If not for that drivetrain issue, he would have been up there and leading with them. I thought he had a damn good shot of trying to win the race, but unfortunately he had that mechanical failure, which led to his downfall, which really kind of made me sad because I thought this is going to be the first win he's going to get. Unfortunately, just did not happen for him, but keep your eye on Tyler Reddick this year. He's going to make some noise. Who is on the very concerning list and who's not this week? Martin Truex Jr. Zach alluded to this earlier. I mean, Martin Truex is a damn good short track racer. And for some odd reason, he just did not perform. I mean, even in his qualifiers, he had to use the Champions Provisional just to get into the race. And when the race started, you didn't even see him on the track. I felt like he just was non-existent.
Okay, I think that Truex made a strategic decision there, and I think it was somewhat based on, as we talked about, the car shortage, because he didn't even run the last chance qualifier. After the heat race, he knew he was locked in because he was the highest finishing driver in terms of points that didn't lock themselves in through the heat races. So he just said, I'm not even running the qualifier. I'm taking the provisional. I think he did that partially to make sure he didn't get a car torn up in there, and partially because he knew he just wasn't very fast. But I think that was I'll give them credit for strategically thinking and saying, why risk getting a car tore up in a last chance qualifier when we don't have to and we have a car shortage? So I give them credit for strategically thinking that decision through.
That was smart. I thought that was smart.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I'll give that, and maybe that's why he didn't make much noise in there, trying to save his car. I did see one comment on there that kind of had the same idea that I had. It's just maybe that's why he didn't really go all out. Maybe he was just trying to save his stuff for later. But maybe that's it. But for right now, I'm going with Martin Truex.
Okay. And as far as our who's hot, who's not, we know what Adam thinks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know it's me.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I wasn't even on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I pulled it up and you got it perfect. I love it.
Yeah. All right, so Zach, who you
Adam.
got for who's hot and who's not, or do you want me to go, since I see you didn't mark anything in the agenda?
No, I did.
Okay.
Just barely.
I would say you, Adam. I would say you were hot, but
get a room, you two.
But I got to go with Justin Haley this week. Justin Haley was awesome. He was up front pretty much all night before he got taken out, and I thought it was very refreshing to see a Kaulig racing car, especially the 31, back up front. So kudos to him, kudos to the team, getting that thing rolling and hooked up, especially on a short track. I don't think they're going to be an exciting team to watch for the rest of the season here. As far as who's not, I would say 2311 Racing. Bubba made the main show, but finished dead last running. And really didn't make a lot of noise during the race, except I think in one of his heat races, or maybe it was the last chance qualifier. He was up front a little bit, but didn't run well. And then also Kurt Busch didn't run well at all, which was kind of disappointing. So.
Okay, now I disagree. I think Kurt Busch ran well. He was leading the last chance qualifier, had the fastest car in that field by far, in my opinion, and just basically got taken out. So I thought Kurt Busch had plenty of speed to be in the show, but he just literally got taken out.
Yeah, but I don't know if he should have been in that position to begin with. But that's going to happen in the last chance qualifier. You gotta not prepare yourself not to be in that scenario, because people are going to act out. But I don't know. I expected better from 2311 Racing, especially in the main show with Bubba, and that didn't happen. They didn't really have that much speed. At least Bubba didn't. I do agree with you that Kurt Busch did have a fast car, but I don't think he should have been in the last chance qualifier. I think he should have been able to qualify his way in before that. But I wonder if it was a speed issue or setup issue or whatever. But this didn't make a lot of noise, so I'm gonna say that's who's not. Because you guys stole you stole my Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, who's not. So, spoiler alert.
Okay. All right. Adam Lauer says he's hot, kicking his brother's ass in Call of Duty right now.
Nice.
All right. You know who plays Call of Duty in this group? Somalians. If you look for somebody to play Call of Duty with, look at Somalians.
Yep. I'm not very good, but I play it, sadly.
So for my who's hot, I'm going to step it up from what Aaron said. Aaron said Tyler Reddick. I'm going to say all of RCR. Both cars had a lot of speed. I think Tyler Reddick had the car to beat till it broke. And how about Austin Dillon running top 5, basically the whole main event? So I'm going to say RCR was hot. And by the opposite token, I'm going to say RFK Racing was not. Even with all the beating and banging and people taking each other out, Brad Keselowski couldn't get in. And it seemed like he was not even in a position to challenge. He couldn't even get himself up to where he was fighting for the transfer spot in the LCQ because they just didn't have the speed. So I'm going to say Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing is the not hot because they just did not have the speed this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, then again, all this is just not even race 1 yet. It's just a preliminary races. And I'm sure RK will eventually get their stuff together and be competitive later on. I mean, Brad K is just too damn talented for RFK to just kind of stay where they were last year.
I agree with that.
Hey, Adam, Somalians is a console player, but he says one of his goals is to get a PC, so maybe he'll be playing on PC. I don't know.
Used PC, like a $200 or under PC. I'm not looking for anything like a $2,000 gaming rig. Oh God, no. I'm a cheap SOB. I'm telling you that right now.
I got mine in the background right here. So if it turns on.
I mean, but Adam, if you want to kind of donate some more money and kind of funnel that my way, or buy me a PC and ship it to my door, then I can play you.
Okay, all right, going on. Green flag, red flag. We can't keep reaching our hands into Adam's pockets. I'm sure they're not that deep. But we do appreciate the support.
But we can try. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Green flag, red flags. Simoleons, take us through the green flag, red flag.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. For those who have not been here, green flag, red flag is where we pick about 3 or 4 questions or statements or a combination of both. And we either agree with them, which is green flag, or disagree, which is red flag. And we love to kind of hear the comments from our viewers here to kind of see which on the spectrum they are in, whether they agree or disagree. And so, folks at home, please play along with us because it's just a lot more fun if you do. So, first one of the night: will we see the Clash held at other stadiums in the future because it was such a success at the LA Coliseum? If so, where would you like to see it? Zach, you go first.
Man, I I I think so. As far as like stadiums go, I would also try and include some of the traditional short tracks, like maybe Bowman Gray and what was the other? South Boston, maybe. But as far as in stadiums, I think it's worth a shot. I think LA Coliseum kind of showed that a stadium kind of lends itself to closer action, more action packed. You just have to pick your markets. So I would say green flag. I would like to see it. Maybe Miami or let's see, what's another one? Maybe Dallas. That would be nice.
Okay. Tom, what say you?
I say red flag. I think it was such a huge success in LA, and I think that LA is clamoring for more NASCAR. I think for the foreseeable future, it's going to be there. Okay. So I think for the foreseeable future, they stay right there in LA. If I were to say where else would I like to see it, I'm going to keep on the same theme NASCAR had when they picked LA. I'm going to say put it in a market where NASCAR's not at or not traditionally been strong and see if they can make some inroads in there. I'm going to say go into the Northwest. What is the name of the stadium where the Seattle Seahawks play? I do not know the name of it, and I couldn't Google it real quick.
It's some bank now. It used to be I forgot.
One of our viewers has to know it.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm looking it up right now. Lumen Field.
Yeah, Lumen Field. So I'm going to say go to Lumen Field. So, but I am saying black flag or red flag because for right now, I think it stays at the Coliseum.
Okay, I'm gonna go green. I will go green flag for this one, and bear me with this. You know, NASCAR is wanting to return to its roots, right? And you know how they turned Bristol into a dirt track, right? How about this for just a complete wild card? Churchill Downs.
Kentucky.
In Kentucky.
Wow.
I mean, it will probably never go through whatsoever, but can you just imagine the stands and the viewership that would bring in? To have instead of actual horses,
at a
horsepower at a horse track. That would be amazing.
Interesting.
I give you credit for the most innovative big idea of the night.
I mean, I must have took some of Sav's drugs here, but that would be amazing.
Mike Helton, are you watching? Are you watching, Mike Helton? Please,
Mike. Hey, by the way, if y'all go to Churchill Downs, I thought of it first. So credit me with that and pocket me some money, please.
I love where Mike Ahora's head is at because he has been on point with all his comments. I'd love to see him at the Chili Bowl.
Ooh.
But at the Chili Bowl, you got these tiny little cars. You couldn't fit them on the Chili Bowl.
Well, you'd have to expand it, but same track or area.
Chili Bowl is indoors too, so you have a finite amount of space. I don't think you could pull it off.
And plus, the exhaust from the cars are going to be much more of a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So,
yeah.
Anyway. So, all right, keep going. Next, green flag, red flag. And I want to remind you, fan interaction coming up after this. So get your comments ready for the fan interaction.
Yeah, please do. All right, green flag, red flag, second one of the night. The on-track tempers this week could have repercussions when it comes time to the Daytona 500. Now, we saw Ryan Blaney get hot. We saw Eric Almirola get hot. We saw Justin Haley get taken out by Kyle Larson. And so already you've got these sort of, I guess, rivalries being made before the season even officially begins. And so I'm wondering, are they going to keep that in the back of their mind when it comes time to the Daytona 500? Tom, you go first.
I'm going to say red flag on this one. for the simple reason that you don't settle a score at Daytona. Because you try to settle a score at Daytona, you're going to take out 15 to 20 other people as collateral damage. I'm not saying we didn't start rivalries here and there aren't going to be scores settled at Vegas or at Phoenix or at Homestead or at Martinsville, but I'm saying it's not going to happen at Daytona because that's not a place that you settle feuds. But as we're talking about the tempers, okay, how about of all the people that got dumped and all the people that got wrecked and all the people that had comments to say about it, Kurt Busch was had the most calm professional demeanor of anybody. When Kurt Busch is your voice of reason, who saw that coming? Who saw that coming?
If you said that back in like 2005, no one would believe you.
From 2005 to like 2015, nobody would believe you.
Even 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
Crazy.
But
yeah. All right. So what do you guys have to say about this one?
Zach, what say you?
Well, look, as far as repercussions, I think there'll be repercussions. I definitely think that drivers are going to be unwilling to work with other drivers. Maybe maybe Justin Haley, maybe, because of what happened on track. You got two Fords that got together. You got two Chevys that got together. They got to work together this upcoming week of the Daytona 500. You don't think that they're going to be a little bit less willing to help out their manufacturer because of them getting taken out? I know it's an exhibition race, but these things build up. Of course, I don't think it's going to be payback, but they're going to be less willing to work with one another or give each other room when it comes down to it. I think. I mean, it's hard to tell with anything, but having all that contact and having all those issues last week, it definitely don't help your circumstance when you got to go back and race for the real deal the next week after. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm gonna go green flag just because of the Kyle Larson and Justin Haley incident. I mean, if you looked at that incident, Larson just ran Haley down to the concrete wall and just ended his day. Granted, Haley didn't do the best maneuvers trying to get down to the inside, but still, Larson he flat took him out. I'll say right now he did. But at Daytona, I don't think anyone is going to wreck anybody. I think they're going to keep that in mind, saying, "Hey, you wrecked me at the LA Coliseum. I'm not going to work with you unless I absolutely have to." And so I really think that it will carry on to Daytona 500, but I don't think it'll really morph into anything too serious, like a 20-car pileup or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up Mark's comment here. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to work with Ty Dillon. He's the one guy there that I think everybody's going to be like, because he hit everybody. The other stuff, I think, I don't think will carry over, but I don't think anybody's going to work with Ty Dillon.
No.
I think he made enemies from every manufacturer all up and down pit road there. But anyway, keep us going, Simoleons.
Yeah, and that's a shame. I was kind of high on Ty Dillon this year. Maybe it's just a breakout year, but not looking like it. But all right, number 3 of the night. Which race team was more impressive during the clash? Richard Childress Racing, which is going to be our green flag, or Trackhouse Racing, which is red flag. Zach, we'll go with you first.
I did like what I saw out of Trackhouse, but I gotta say, I definitely think RCR outperformed what I thought their standards were going to be coming into the day. So I gotta go green flag.
All right, Tom.
I'm going green flag too. They had probably the fastest car there in Tyler Reddick, and they had Ty Dillon running 5th. I don't think if you did RCR and you put any team next to them, I think I'd still say RCR was the most impressive. I think they had the best as a group, as a team, the best run of anybody there. If you looked at how they performed.
Yeah. And got Mark saying RCR as well. Blade Fox going to RCR. How's it going, brother? I miss playing Xbox with you, man. And it looks like we got Mike Hora going RCR. We got essentially everyone going RCR. Actually, for Mark, I'm not really surprised he's going RCR because he's an Austin fanboy. But anyway, last one of the night, gentlemen.
And
So
then
make
fan
your
Big
interaction.
one.
then
Fan
Big one.
interaction. What do you want to see us discuss coming up next?
Yes, please do. So please have your questions ready. All right. Now for the most, I guess, talk about question out of this whole ordeal. Do you think the clash at the LA Coliseum achieved its goal of creating interest from newer demographics? Yes or no? Tom would go with you first.
Oh, big green flag for me. Yes, they did. Keep in mind that place was not packed, but California is still on semi lockdown, so they aren't allowed to run at full capacity. 70% of the ticket holders were this was going to be their first NASCAR event. You had stuff to draw in the younger crowds. You had Pitbull performing. If you looked at the crowd, it was young people there. So yeah, I absolutely think they achieved their goal of getting younger audiences, new demographics, and attracting new fans. I think it was a huge green flag for me.
Absolutely, I agree. I think it has to be a green flag here. Like I said, when they panned to the fans, you just saw all different types of demographics. People who were fans, people who were new, you could tell. It's just it's nice to see, it's refreshing to see, and I think they did exactly what they intended to do with this. And like Tom said, California is still on lockdown, and they had that many people packed in the stands. It's just amazing. I love it, love to see it, and I hope to see more of those fans coming out this year to all the other races.
Yeah. And I think certainly for this race, I do think the LA Clash certainly achieved its goal by leaps and bounds. Because you had the LA Coliseum, which we stated numerous times on the show, but it cannot go unstated enough, was just nearly packed to the damn gills for this event. It seems like everyone was having a fantastic time with this. You know, everyone was paying attention. I mean, you got Ice Cube and freaking Pitbull, trying to as halftime entertainment. It seemed like it was almost a Super Bowl like event before the Super Bowl actually starts in NASCAR. And it was just an insane event. And I think it really did have, do its job of getting a new demographic into NASCAR and saying, hey, you know what? This is a really good race. I'll see what this Daytona 500 is like and see if I like it then. And so I think that would be the biggest thing, the biggest thing to answer this question of can they retain that demographic that they just now got? And if so, then I would believe that it did achieve its goal. But if not, then I say probably didn't. It's kind of a one-off event. And so that will conclude the green flag, red flag segment. Got Adam saying green. We got, I think that's really good.
Yep. Okay, so let's get into the fan interaction and give us some comments, things you want us to talk about, questions, comments, whatever you have. But I saw earlier that Adam had asked us Landon Castle and his chances of winning this year driving for Matt Collig. So how do you guys rate his chances of winning now that he is with a more competitive organization in Matt Collig and Collig Racing?
Absolutely, I think he's going to win a race. He's in Collig as a whole, especially as an Xfinity Series team, did pretty well last season, especially in the Xfinity Series. And I think that they upgraded to a certain extent in the number 10. And they're getting a heck of a driver. I think Landon can win, and I can't wait to see him in victory lane.
Yeah, really, I think Landon has to win because out of the entirety of his career, this is the best ride he's ever gotten. And so if he doesn't win here and doesn't show up and kind of get in contention for top 10s, top 5s, and leading the last and actually being upfront and competitive, if he's not showing that, then that just kind of proves to us all that he's kind of a bust of a driver. I hate to say it for the guy because it seems like he's a very likable driver. I mean, hell, I think Jimmy Johnson even actually spoke out for him, saying, "Yeah, this dude's a hell of a driver. If he can just get in some equal or top tier equipment, he can show his stuff." Well, now you have your chance. Matt Collick has proven that team can win anywhere. Road courses, super speedways, intermediates, short tracks, it doesn't matter. And so this year is put up or shut up for Landon Castle. And so I think he has to win.
I think his odds of winning are good. I think he's been driving a lot for, was it Morgan Shepherd?
I think so.
And
Shepherd
I think that equipment was
JD Motorsports.
Okay. I think his equipment has been so bad that it's been hard to evaluate him, and it's so bad that it's hard for him to even outdrive the equipment. But I also think when Matt Collick dubs you to drive in one of your cars, he's got such a great reputation as being able to pick talented drivers and pick people who can win that it gives you instant credibility if Matt Collick deems you worthy of driving one of his cars. So I think he's got an excellent shot of winning. I also agree with Aaron that this is a put up or shut up. If he can't win in Matt Collick equipment, then he's in trouble. He's just in trouble because that equipment is good. But I'm saying he's got an excellent chance at winning, and I think he better win, because if he doesn't, I don't know who else, if he's ever going to get this type of opportunity again if he doesn't make the most of this one.
Mm-mm. I mean, we saw that with Casey Mears over at Hendrick in Cup a number of years ago, where he was this guy who got into the. Granted, it was a 4-seated Hendrick, but it was still Hendrick equipment.
Yeah,
and he didn't really do much of anything besides one fuel saving win at Charlotte, and that was really it.
Yeah.
Ever since he was let go by Hendrick, he didn't really do much else. So yeah, this is absolutely put up or shut up.
And I will say he was so good for JD Motorsports that I think he ran all 4 of their numbers in order to get them above or get them qualified for the races for all the races for the 2022 season because of owner points. So how he would run really well, gather up all those points so they're all within the minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, fan interaction from our friend Puggy. How many races does RCR win this season?
I'm gonna say 2.
2? You got a prediction on what tracks or what drivers?
No clue. Maybe Reddick. I think Reddick gets both of them, and he'll win at Homestead. And I don't know the second one. Maybe Bristol.
Aaron, what do you think?
I'm gonna go 3 races for RCR. I think two are going to come from Reddick. I do think Homestead as well, and the other one, and the other 2 I don't really know. I think Dylan will get one at a super speedway track, like maybe Daytona. I won't say the 500, but I will say a Daytona race of some sort. And I may go. Let's see. I'm gonna go Vegas for Reddick. I think he's good there, but maybe getting my drivers confused.
Okay. I'm going to say 3. I'm basically following along with Aaron. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say it's 2-1. Reddick gets 2 and Dylan gets 1. Homestead. People overlook this. I think we are probably there's probably like 5 people who understand how good Tyler Reddick is at Homestead, and I think 3 of them are on this podcast. He absolutely owned that place in the Xfinity Series. He ran second there last year in the Cup Series. So, and that was when RCR was not running well. That was the early season. When in the late season they got more competitive and ran better. But I think Reddick wins at Homestead. I think one of them wins at a plate track, and then I have no idea what the other one is that they win. But I think it's going to be
Maybe
3, and it's going to be
Darlington.
2-1 Reddick.
Maybe Darlington.
Yeah.
That's a ride the wall type of track too.
That is, and
certainly
that's
is.
where Reddick shines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody got anything else in fan interaction before we move on to our white flag, where everyone takes a chance giving their closing thoughts?
Not
Okay.
really.
Not seeing anything.
Not really seeing a good one here.
Gen 6 versus Gen 7. I don't know.
Now, are you saying that in terms of look or performance or blade? What are you trying to say with Gen 6 versus Gen 7? What are you trying to say there, brother?
Here, let's hit Sav's question as the last one, because it's a very clear. And how many wins does Briscoe get? I got to be honest, I'm not sure I'm betting on him to get any this year.
No, 0.
Based on how Stuart Haas was struggling last year, I think they're going to become more competitive this year. But I think Harvick will get the lion's share of the wins for him. I think Almirola may pull something out in his final year, but I don't know that I am predicting Briscoe to get any this year.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna say 1.
1?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a road course.
Okay.
I think
He
it's
had
gonna
a chance last year at the Indy Oval.
I think it's gonna be Sonoma.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we will see.
Yeah.
We will. That'll be interesting.
It will be.
All right, let's move on to our white flag comments. And since Aaron always steals everything I'm saying, I'm going first in the white flag comment this week.
God dang it.
So,
All right.
My white flag comment is I would like to ask you guys all to tune into this channel Thursday at 7:30. I am going to be participating in a race on Heat 5 at Michigan, 25%, I think 3 times wear. It is a charity race for a guy that is a friend of ours. He is going to have to step away from racing for a little bit. He's going to go take care of his daughter, who is going through some chemo and battling cancer right now. So we decided we would all get together and run a charity race for him. So I'm going to put it on my channel. It's going to be live. I'm hoping a lot of people tune in. Whatever ad revenue I collect from that race, I will be donating to him to help him take care of his daughter. So I'm hoping I can get a big turnout. So it is 7:30 this Thursday at Michigan. So please tune in. Michigan's not one of my best tracks. I probably won't run real well, but it's for a good cause. So please tune in and support the cause. And if you want to make sure you can tune in, like and subscribe. Hit the like button, smash that stuff to like and subscribe, and get the notifications when we're going live so you'll know when we are on the air.
Absolutely.
So that is my white flag comment.
All right, Zach, what say you?
Yeah, I will definitely be watching. But my white flag, I didn't really have one. But I will say that according to Bob Pockris, all the Fords will have a small tweak to their nose for this upcoming season. Their preseason wind tunnel test apparently highlighted some potential issues or loopholes that made them a little bit faster, but potentially more drag at the super speedways. So they're going to be changing or asking for all the Ford teams to change their nose a little bit. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to affect the cars and the look of all the Ford Mustangs. So just my white flag moment.
And I guess from my white flag moment, I am going to say that I'm glad that NASCAR is back. It's been too damn long, and the hype has just been going on for so long. And this week we finally get to the coup de grace of the season, the Daytona 500. It's going to be amazing. Unfortunately, I have to work during the Daytona 500, so dad gumped. But hopefully I will be able to kind of get like a lunch break in there and maybe stay a little bit after so I can watch a little bit more of it. But you know what? I'm just glad that NASCAR's back. I'm glad that the cars are on track and finally running. And I'm glad that this is going to be a very, very interesting season to talk about, especially on this podcast.
And Mike, we're glad you are not freezing to death, my friend.
Yes.
Northern
I'm
Iowa
happy
is
for you.
cold. Glad you got a new furnace.
Absolutely.
Blade's birthday is on Saturday. Happy early birthday.
Hey, man. Yeah. Happy early birthday, brother.
All right. So with that, I think we are done for the night. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, thanks for the comments. Thanks for interacting with us. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, tell them to do the same. We need more viewers on this. I think this show is worthy of more than the 6 viewers we're getting. We're not fantastic, but we're better than 6 viewers. Come on, help us out.
I agree.
Tell your
guys.
friends
Come
and
on.
neighbors. Get us some more viewers in here so we can make this a little more exciting with a little more interaction. So with that, we will end the broadcast. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week, Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
See you guys.
Peace.